And that was the actor announcing, of course, a big story. This is all despite a recent poll by the Dallas Morning News and UT Tyler that shows that McConaughey would have likely beaten both sitting governor, Republican Greg Abbott, and Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke, even though McConaughey had yet to declare a party affiliation. So huge. Huge. Joining us now, Niall Stanage, the White House columnist for The Hill. To get started within all of this is to think about the culture that we're now in. What does McConaughey, even considering a run, say about the state of politics in America today?
Well, first of all, I think your Matthew McConaughey impression at the start of this segment needs to be honoured and respected.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But what it says more broadly is that I think there is an appetite for a different kind of tone and a different kind of culture. Matthew McConaughey has talked a lot about that, about the need to have a more civil tone in politics. And I think the enthusiasm for that was one of the things that was contributing to speculation about him running.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people want in general, in life. They want it in politics, they want it in media, but who's going to deliver is the question, because so far, whoever's left on the ballot isn't necessarily known for their compassionate rhetoric, at least not broadly, like Matthew McConaughey. But these 2022 stories are everywhere already. You actually wrote a piece for The Hill, 5 issues that will define the months until the midterms. What is the primary issue we can expect to dominate campaign season?
COVID, I think, is the one that is going to dominate, and that has obviously become even more the case in the past few days with this very worrying variant. Because of COVID, the question of whether the situation there improves or gets worse has a whole cascading effect politically. It obviously improves things for President Biden if it gets better, but not, if it gets worse. I think a lot of people hearing the news over the weekend just had that sort of sick feeling in their stomach of, oh no, here we go again. And even though President Biden may not be directly blamed for that, it's not good for any sitting president.
But do you think that the response from the American people, it might be too early to tell, but I'm going to just throw this one at you, to this interesting travel ban? I say interesting because there are a lot of nations who are actually saying this is overreaction, this is not necessary, there is no science here. The president is saying, no, like, this is what we need to do. So what do you think the American response will be?
Honestly, I think that people prefer probably to be overly cautious rather than overly reckless in this kind of thing. I completely take your point that a travel ban doesn't prevent the new variant coming here. And even the experts acknowledge that it's quite possible it is already here, but it buys you some time. And the other point is that it's just much easier to make the argument politically that we need to keep things tight rather than to appear to be too lax in response to the threat.
Right. Overreaction could be good if it's considered proactive versus underreaction and not being prepared. One thing Republicans and Democrats agree on, they all wish this COVID situation would be completely dealt with heading into 2022. I know that's for sure. Niall Stanage, as always, so good to see you.
Always a pleasure, Adrienne.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.